think of a healthy local food system as getting local food into local bellies. And there's a lot of steps in between there that have to happen in order for that to be a sustainable, long-term model for a community. But once you have that in place, no drought in California is going to short you. So in terms of a strong local food system, you've got several elements that are key. You've got farmers who grow the food. You've got processors who preserve it so that you've got something off-season to eat. You've got gardeners who are growing their own foods. You've got access to the food. When it comes to value-added products for farmers, preserving local foods for consumption in the off-season has to be done during peak season. For farmers, that's problematic. They're spending all their time in the field just harvesting and trying to deal with the product as it's coming in. Having a place like the Feed Kitchen gives a farmer the opportunity to hire somebody to do that processing for them so that they have a product for sale in the off-season. For the community, it means that access to local foods is available beyond just the summer months when a product is in season. You've got to have a place where people can process the food, like the Feed Kitchen. You've got to have a place where people can buy that product, so farmers markets, grocery stores, the public market. In a healthy food system, you've got somebody growing the food, you've got a place to process the food, you've got a place to sell the food. You need somebody to actually turn a raw product into a final product, whether you're talking about a baked good, a canned good, frozen vegetables, pasties, you name it. In Madison, we've got a wealth of opportunities with Madison College and their culinary program, with vocational training that we have here at the Feed Kitchen, in terms of getting people the training that they need to be in a place where they can start their own food business. And then the Feed Kitchen is the place where they can start that food business.
Community Groundworks is a nonprofit organization connecting people to nature and local food. Through hands-on education, children and adults learn gardening, urban farming, and healthful eating. Organized in Madison in 2001 as the Friends of Troy Gardens, Community Groundworks serves diverse communities and schools across the region. Community Groundworks' core values includes welcoming diverse experiences, cultures, and points of view, and from respecting the integrity of the natural world. They are committed to collaborative decision-making and partner with and support the efforts of others who share in the work of building enduring communities. They share in the collective responsibility to steward and protect the Earth's resources. They are committed to ethical business practices that ensure an economically healthy organization. They also serve as a model for innovative land use by developing program designs and strategies to grow food and support healthful lifestyles.
Hi, I'm Chris Brockle, and I am the founder and executive director of Healthy Food for All. Healthy Food for All is operating out of Feed Kitchens. We are a social enterprise that is helping to get food to low-income families, and we do that really in two ways. We're doing produce in the summertime, so we're collecting donated produce from area farmers, bringing it into Feed Kitchens, cleaning it, aggregating it, and then distributing it, some directly to families, CSA style, and some through food pantries. And then year-round, we are also processing, packaging prepared food. Right now it's coming from Epic Systems, but we're expanding to other cafeterias as well. And that's food that they are giving to us in bulk that's already been prepared, putting it into family-sized containers, labeling it, and freezing it or cooling it as appropriate, and then getting it out to food pantries. So basically we're saving food from the landfill, perfectly good food to eat, and making it available to low-income folks. So there's an environmental piece to it, and there's a social feeding the hungry piece as well. We are excited to be part of Feed Kitchens because anything that we are doing right now would not be possible without Feed Kitchens being here. We need a commercial kitchen, and certainly the expertise of Feed in helping us figure out process and packaging and labeling and all that has been significant and has really helped us make a go of it. We're also excited about the talk of the larger food district, public market, and food innovation corridor. Because any food system piece that's being developed needs to have a social equity piece to it, and we feel like we bring that to the game and to the conversation. Certainly if we look along this corridor and the neighborhoods that are going to be affected by it, we're looking at pockets of low-income families who need food access, and our project helps bring that to the larger planning of. So other good reasons to be part of the food innovation corridor with the social enterprise is not just the training, but also it connects us to processors, farmers, people that are going to be working through feed or starting businesses along the innovation corridor. Anytime that businesses are creating and processing food, there's always going to be some excess. And so to have an organization like Healthy Food for All around that can help people move that excess to places where it can be used instead of just being thrown out, I think is a valuable piece to the entire food system, where hopefully you can get down to a zero waste system where it's I think also important, and I think hopefully Healthy Food for All brings this to the food innovation corridors, that connections that we make with the corridor throughout Dane County. So we're not just distributing food along the corridor, we're distributing food with pantries throughout Dane County. Our packaging and washing of produce, we've been using volunteers from the Department of Corrections and from DVR, and we have plans of making that into a basic training program, and that basic training program can then feed the other training programs that exist either here at Feed or that might develop in other places, and become stepping stones to different types of jobs that are going to be created within the food innovation corridor.
Hello, I'm Adam Hain. I'm the manager of the Feed Kitchens on the north side of Madison. I've been here since we opened in November of 2013 and seen a lot of great things happening in this area. We're kind of working at being the linchpin of the food corridor here in Madison. We work with, at this point, 68 commercial businesses, 4 of them using us just as a storage and kind of a holding site, and then another 38 or 40, I'm not sure, non-commercial entities. So people coming in doing Christmas cookies, things like that. We're really a great hub for all kinds of things. We have some training programs, we've got food carts, sauce makers, bakers, a wide variety of different businesses that work here. But one of the most important things that we're working on now is the development of new businesses, helping people to get started. Big difference between Feed and other commercial entities, other commercial kitchens that are out there, is frankly the staff. It's the fact that we actually have, as part of our application, a 4-page checklist to help people start their business. Everything from talking to the city, talking to the state, getting their insurance, getting their licensing, writing their business plan, all the things that they need to have, and then we help them in every step of the way. We're actually to the point now where when the city, state, or county has someone who's having difficulty with how to get their application in, how to start their business, they send them here and we help them go through that processing so that when they get back to the licensing part, they're good to go. They can walk right in, say this is what we're doing, have all their forms done, and send it in. So when someone comes into Feed to start working, they fill out their application, they sit down and meet with me, and I help them to say, okay, we need to talk to this person at the state, this person at the city, whatnot. Get them started there, and then we work with WBIC, with the Small Business Development Center, with SCORE, and with multiple other groups around the city, holding classes here, having speakers come in so that they know how to start their business, how to grow their business, and really what to develop into. We have a couple businesses that have actually started here and moved on because they've developed enough of a business that they can get their own space. We're great for those small businesses that can't afford to have their own space, can't afford to get started. We're also working on expanding our programs here. So doing more of the job development programs in-house, doing training through Healthy Food for All of people to do processing for some of the local farmers and whatnot. So we have a wide variety of food carts, everything from Caribbean food to mac and cheese comfort food, barbecue and pie, and most recently we just got an Afghani food cart that's working out here. We have several more that we're helping to develop and get ready to start. On top of that, we've got multiple sauce makers, we have a chocolate maker, we have some bakers and caterers. We have an outreach program here, partially funded by a USDA grant, to help us go out to local farmers, especially minority farmers, working with them on how to do processing and value added, taking products that they wouldn't be able to sell or they would have extra. If they have a bumper crop of tomatoes, what do they do with it? Right now, a lot of it goes into the food pantry system, which is great, but unfortunately, a lot of that actually goes to waste, and I'm sure Chris has talked about some of that already. So what we're doing is we're trying to teach them how to make their own product, how they can come into the kitchen and use that, or we're also working to team them up with processors. So we're trying to start a processors co-op with multiple different processors across the city that would be able to come in here and say, okay, I have extra tomatoes. Well, these are 2 processors that are excellent with tomatoes, or I have extra cucumbers. Oh, well, this processor does pickles and things like that.
Hi, my name is Rita Jones. I'm the manager of the Northside Farmers Market, which has for over 10 years been a key place in the community to have access to locally grown food and for the community to get together on Sunday mornings around events and food purchasing. We have several vendors at the market who have been a member or have been vending at the market since the beginning, and many people in the community have established relationships with those farmers. And the really important thing about that in relationship to the whole food accessibility and food corridor discussion is getting direct contact with your farmer, your local producer, being able to have direct sales for them and have no middlemen so that they can have more of what they're making out of what they're selling, and so that the consumer, the shopper at the market, is able to ask them direct questions about their growing methods, get to know them, and establish a relationship. A lot of our other vendors who are not feed users, they sell various things like jams. 100 Mile Sauce is an example of a vendor at our market who uses a feed kitchen. And a newer vendor, Mojo's Magic, is also a vendor. Some of these users will buy produce from our agricultural vendors at the market. So for example, to use Polly's Pickles and Jams as an example, she will often buy fruit from the other vendors during the growing season, the fruit season. 100 Mile and Mojo's Magic are examples of vendors who are using the market as an outlet for their product when they're getting started. So maybe they're not big enough, or weren't at the time, to be distributing or selling in a grocery store, even some of the local stores. But by being a vendor at a market, they can start to get people familiar with their product and gather a following and hopefully have enough demand where they can go to a grocery store and get the store to agree to start carrying them. So in that way, the direct consumer and the farmer and the food incubator, Feed Kitchen, are all connected in this process of getting locally produced food or grown food to other outlets and to the consumer directly. We have a really diverse population on the north side of Madison. I see the market not only as a place to make those agricultural and farmer and local producer connections, but also as a place to showcase our community and for our community to come together.
My name is Ava Tucker, and I'm the Interim Executive Director of the Northside Planning Council and the editor of the Northside News. So there's been, a lot of discussion around the city of Madison and on the north side about this concept of a food innovation corridor. And of course, the Northside Planning Council, as the owner and operator of the Feed Kitchens, is a key player in whatever this is going to be. It is not only an economic development initiative, but it's a systemic community revitalization project. And inherent in that is the role of the community. And so we want to make sure that not only are we engaging city institutions and businesses and the business community, but we're also engaging neighbors and residents, so that as the tide rises, that all the boats are rising with it, and that people have a voice in shaping what a food innovation corridor looks like here on the north side. The Food Innovation Quarter isn't just this sort of, top layer that goes on of all this activity between moneyed interests and somehow doesn't, come down to affect the people actually living in the neighborhoods. And so our goal, and really from an equity perspective as much as anything, is making sure that the people who live here are benefiting from this work. So what that means is really being out in the neighborhoods, looking at some of our more vulnerable neighborhoods and building leadership capacity, building trust, finding ways to connect them. And the beauty of it is that food is a powerful connector. I mean, food brings people together across all kinds of barriers that otherwise might be really difficult to breach. And so here we have this opportunity, because of all of the exciting local food activity, to bring people together, to share their food traditions, everybody wants to eat well and eat healthily, and so to make that accessible to people, and then to give people leadership roles in this kind of emerging local food system. So, and tied into that, food and art and celebration and music and all these other ways that all these other tools you can use to build community.
With the public market plans heating up for 2019, this is the perfect opportunity for the North Side to connect our food-based economic development assets to what is happening on East Washington Avenue. The Food Innovation Quarter is well positioned because of our close proximity to the public market coming down Sherman Avenue to Northport Drive. We are really a feeder enterprise zone to the public market. Many initiatives will funnel through feed kitchens, which will then funnel over to the public market, and oftentimes beyond. To name a few of the Northside assets, we have feed kitchens, Healthy Food for All, Northside Farmers Market, Community Groundworks, Troy Gardens, the Madison College Culinary Arts Program, and hopefully in the near future, we'll add Willie Street Co-op and our Peace Pasta. Our collaborative efforts can help connect the dots for all of these food-related enterprises. These groups and organizations can individually connect with the public market, but working collectively, we can continually plug in other individuals and new enterprises as they are developed. Also, we're working on outreach to include representation from underrepresented groups. We want to be sure that everyone has access to good locally grown food. And through FEED, we'll be helping them start their own businesses. And then we'll help them grow those businesses so that they're able to earn a living wage in the process. Our collaboration on the Food Innovation Quarter is a work in progress at this time. We might hold events like a food summit where everyone can participate and include them in marketing literature. The possibilities are endless. Of course, in everything we do, we'll work to have the quarter represent the other businesses on the North Side and the people living here. We want a vibrant business community that encourages other businesses from around the city, from around the region, to want to locate on the North Side and be a part of all the excitement and the energy that will be going on here.